What's up, everyone? DKRACK here. And guys, we're about to check out 5 chilling photos of people before they went missing. I want to give a big shout out to Rising Tomato, I think is their name. They left a comment that says, can you please react to 5 chilling last photos of people before they went missing? Love your channel. Well, Rising Tomato, thank you so much for the comment. And if you have a video you want me to check out and you checked my channel and I've never watched it before, just leave a comment down below. Maybe I'll give you a shout out. Maybe I'll check out your video request. But again, shout out to Rising Tomato. And we're going to go ahead and check this video out. This video I'm about to react to is on the channel. I think it's Luch Green. I'll have a link to the original video down below. It's a little longer video. It's about 30 minutes long. So if you want to pause my video quick, go grab a soda, go grab some popcorn, go grab a snack, whatever. A little bit of a longer video, but we're going to check it out. Chilling last photos of people before they went missing. All right, guys, let's not waste any more time, and let's check it out.
Number 5. This is the last haunting self-portrait of Andrew McAuley, a man and his kayak alone, all around a vast seascape of emptiness. On January 11th, 2007, seasoned adventure...
Don't tell me he got, like, stranded at sea or something. That's, like... I feel like that would be the worst thing ever. Being in, like, a little kayak or just totally stranded. Oh, my gosh.
39-year-old Andrew McAuley
that would be
set out on his
terrible.
quest to become the first person to kayak from Australia to New Zealand across 1,600 kilometers of one of the wildest and loneliest expanses of ocean on Earth. The southern ocean stretch of the Tasman Sea below the 40th parallel, an area known for tumultuous and punishing weather conditions.
In a freaking kayak?
Andrew started his journey from Fordyce Bay, expecting to arrive in Milford Sound, New Zealand, on the 8th of February, 2007. Before this quest, Andrew spent nearly 10 years preparing for the trip. He completed 3 crossings from Australia to Tasmania via the notorious Bass Strait, as well as a solo 7-day traverse of Australia's treacherous Gulf of Carpentaria, earning him Australian Geographic's 2005 Adventurer of the Year award. Before catching the kayaking bug on a late 1990s trip in the Chilean fjords, Andrew devoted his considerable energies to mountaineering, making first ascents in Pakistan, Patagonia, and Australia.
Dang, this guy did everything, man. Rest in peace. He had all these incredible accomplishments, but then somehow just went missing at sea? That's actually really freaking sad. It looked like he had a wife and a son, too. There was a younger-looking boy that he gave a hug to earlier. That's really freaking sad.
On Thursday, February 8th, with only 120 kilometers to go, he sent a triumphant text message to his wife, Vicky, and 3-year-old son, Finlay, who were already waiting in New Zealand. See you 9 a.m. Sunday.
Oh, he did have a son.
The weather forecast promised a benign end to a harrowing journey. Vicky and Finlay gathered with friends and family in Milford Sound to celebrate. The legendary sea kayaker Paul Caffin would be there in person to congratulate the man who accomplished what he'd failed to do. Caffin told ABC Radio, "We were planning to paddle out and wait there until Andrew came in with a bottle of whiskey and ginger beer." At 7 p.m. on Friday, February the 9th, New Zealand Coast Guard received an almost indecipherable transmission on Channel 16 from a vessel identifying itself as Kayak 1.
Oh my god. This is sad. Oh no, is there like a hole in the kayak? Then my kayak's freaking sinking. Oh no.
Andrew's family suspected the radio message was a hoax, or perhaps an attempt by Andrew to make his nightly check-in by radio now that his sat phone batteries were dead. A small search was launched, but nobody really believed Andrew could be in trouble. A full-scale search began. Planes combed 25,000 square kilometers of wind-tossed ocean. On Saturday night,
did they never
Rescue
find him?
Coordination Center, New Zealand, found Andrew's upturned kayak in near-perfect condition just 54 kilometers offshore of Milford Sound.
He was that freaking close to New Zealand? Oh my gosh. He got that close, and then what happened to Andrew?
It was missing only the cockpit canopy, a bulbous fiberglass capsule dubbed Casper. It was presumed to have been torn off by a freak wave. One of its pivot arms had already been damaged.
Dang.
The paddle, satellite phone, GPS, and emergency position indicating radio beacon, EPIRB, not activated, were all in working order inside the kayak. His video camera was also recovered, but unfortunately, Andrew is nowhere to be found.
Where the hell? What happened to
At a coroner's
Andrew?
inquest held in Invercargill, his wife Vicky said she believed her husband had been capsized in his kayak by a rogue wave, and the protective fiberglass pod used to seal his kayak while he was sleeping, which had been damaged days earlier, filled with water, making it difficult to right. Coroner Trevor Savage's findings confirmed it was likely Andrew became separated from his kayak after a freak wave capsized it. Andrew would have drowned before hypothermia set in, Savage said. Andrew's January departure from Tasmania was his second attempt. He set out in December, but turned back after just 48 hours when he found his sleeping arrangement to be too cold. After some modifications, he launched a second time. Andrew took a video camera with him to record his progress, but he ended up recording his last words, expressing excitement and fear about attempting the 1,600-kilometer voyage.
Dang.
In his final days, as he floated alone in the Tasman Sea, Andrew conceded that he may have pushed the boundaries too far. This really is extreme. It's full on. It's full on. I really could die. I mean, it's an excellent adventure, providing I make it. I've got a lot of people that want me back, Andrew said in one of his videos. I've got a great family. Even though it was his choice, Andrew struggled emotionally with his kayaking expedition. Alone, exposed, and physically exhausted, he frequently implied he was distraught over his circumstances. I just hope I haven't bitten off more than I can chew, he bemoaned. Right now I just want it to be over, to be truthfully honest, he said in another video.
Dang, rest in peace to Andrew. That's my son's name, Andrew.
4.
That's so freaking sad.
This is one of the last photos of Chris Kremers and Lisanne Froon before they went missing.
I remember the story of these two ladies. They got lost on a hiking trip. They were somewhere in South America, I think. And their camera was found in the woods or something. This is a very interesting but sad story also. Dang.
After hiking in El Pinesta Trail near the well-known town Boquete, located in the Panamanian province,
South America.
Chiriquí, close to the border to Costa Rica. Based on the photographs that they have taken, they seem so happy at the beginning of the hike as they smile for a series of photos. But as they went deep to the jungle, something happened.
Yeah, they got lost.
Called for help a couple of hours later.
They got freaking lost.
Chris, 21, and Lisanne, 22, grew up in Amersfoort in the province of Utrecht, Netherlands. Lisanne had just graduated with a degree in applied sciences.
Yeah, this is a very interesting story. I think to this day, they still don't know what happened to these two ladies. I mean, obviously they're missing. Presumed dead, I assume. But it's just, I don't think we're ever going to know what the hell happened to them,
Chris with a degree in cultural social education. The two women met whilst working at the En Den Kleinen Hop restaurant in Amsterdam, and they both rented rooms in the same student house. As their friendship got stronger, Chris and Lisanne planned for a trip to Panama as a reward to Lisanne for graduating. Both of them saved all their money for this special trip. 6 months later, on March 15th, 2014, they got on a plane
just
at
knowing what
Amsterdam
happened
Airport
just
to travel to
makes this
Costa Rica.
eerie.
From there, they traveled to Bocas del Toro in Panama. They spent some time on the coast.
And for you guys that don't know, South America is very dangerous. I mean, just it's a completely different world than United States or Canada or the UK, wherever you live, you know, while you're watching this reaction. A lot of gang violence. It's just life is completely different in South America. I'm not saying it's all bad. It's just like Mexico, South America. There's a lot more dangers in those areas. I know.
Learning some Spanish and enjoying the local food and drink, they met 2 Dutchmen who were visiting the area at the time. 2 weeks after arriving in Panama, on March 29th, they moved on Boquete, a city on the west side of the country. They had originally planned to teach local children in a school on Boquete, but when they arrived at the school, the staff told them they were 1 week too early and that they could not work there yet.
Oh, dang.
Disappointed,
That sucks.
they decided to stay with the local host family in the area of Alto Boquete. To make their moods better, the girls booked several excursions that week, including one to the Finca Las Princesas,
to go
where
hiking.
strawberries were farmed, among other things.
Ooh, strawberries.
They also booked a guided hike tour to the local volcano with a local guide. At 11 a.m. on April 1st, 2014, Chris and Lizanne waved goodbye to their host family and set out for a hike on a hiking trail known as Sendero El Pianista with the family dog named Blue.
Oh.
Later that night, the family dog returned home without Chris and Lizanne. The family searched the area surrounding their home, but found no signs of the girls. Giving them the benefit of the doubt, the host family decided they would wait until morning and continue their search. Since their arrival in Panama, the girls regularly sent text messages to their families on a daily basis. Lizanne's parents...
Yeah, probably to just, you know, let their families know that they're okay and everything's good. When the parents or the family didn't get any text messages, I'm assuming, they're probably like, what's going on with the girls, you know, or with these ladies? Ugh.
Stopped receiving messages from her on April 1st. When the girls missed an appointment with the local guide on the morning of April 2nd, their host family contacted the authorities, who conducted aerial searches of the area. Additionally, local residents searched for the girls as well. On April
You don't know
6th,
what's in those
the
woods.
girls' parents arrived in Boquete, along with police, dog units, and detectives from the Netherlands to conduct a full-scale, 10-day search of the jungle. The parents also offered a $30,000 USD reward for information.
Dang.
After 10
big
weeks,
reward.
no sign of the girls. Police began to slow their search
Wait, did they just say 10 weeks? Hold on.
efforts. Offered a $30,000 USD reward for information. After 10 weeks, and no
10
sign
weeks.
of the girls,
Oh my gosh.
police began to slow their search efforts. But it was then that a Nagobi woman found Lizanne's blue backpack in a rice paddy by a riverbank near her village of Alto Romero in the Bocas del Toro region
This
and
seems
turned it over to
very
the police.
isolated
The
out
woman
here.
claimed it had not been there the day before. Inside the backpack, authorities found 2 pairs of sunglasses, Lizanne's passport, a water bottle, 2 bras, and $83 in cash. All the items
What
were dry
happened to them?
and in good condition. Heavy rain had hit the area in the prior few weeks, so it would be expected that everything would be soaked through, suggesting it had been placed there prior to its discovery by persons unknown. Many different fingerprints and sets of DNA were detected on the backpack contents, but none led to any serious leads for the police.
Oh my gosh.
But that wasn't
what
all.
happened?
The backpack also contained Lizanne's camera and both of the girls' cell phones, Chris's Apple iPhone and Lizanne's Samsung Galaxy. Immediately investigating the phones and cameras, police were shocked to find out that the phones had remained in service for nearly 10 days after the girls disappeared.
What?
Over the course of 4 days, there were 77 attempts to contact the police via 112, the emergency number in the Netherlands, and 911, the emergency number in Panama. The first 2 calls were to the 112 emergency number, and came just hours after Chris and Lizanne set out.
Something very sinister happened here with these ladies. I don't know what, but something just... I don't know if we'll ever know what happened to them, but something happened not good.
Out on their hike at 4:39 p.m. to be more accurate. Unfortunately, due to the dense jungle, neither call went through. In fact, out of all 77 calls, only one managed to get through, but it broke up after only 2 seconds. Additionally, police discovered that on April 6th, there were several attempts, all unsuccessful, to unlock Chris's iPhone with an incorrect PIN number. The phone battery had completely died by April 11th. Whoever was trying to access the phone never succeeded, and the phone remained locked until it was in police hands. Next, police went to investigate Lizanne's Canon PowerShot SX270 camera. In it, there were 133 consecutive photos taken by them during their trek, which offered some clues as to what happened. From those consecutive photos, one mystery shot is missing. The first pictures on April 1st were standard tourist shots, with both women laughing and smiling on a bright sunny day, with some selfies taken at the overlook of the divide. Most of the pictures were taken by Lizanne, with Chris walking ahead of her on the trail. The last few images in this first set indicated the girls had left the Pianista and likely crossed over to the other side of the divide. There,
is that
a
bad?
network of trails exist that are not maintained by rangers or guides. Trails used almost...
So they went off the trail. They went off the trail. That's what happened. Oh, no.
Exclusively by tribes of indigenous people living within the forests. This included the Nagobi people, whose village was approximately 12 hours by foot from the Continental Divide.
12
and
hours?
Where the girl's backpack was found.
What the
heck? The last
heck?
photos that were taken by them that day are images 507 and 508, which show Chris crossing a small creek. The next photo, 509, is missing. Dutch specialists have tried to undelete the missing photo, which normally is not a challenge when an image is manually deleted, because pressing the delete button does not mean the whole file is actually erased. However, experts failed to find the missing photo, and it would be impossible for the camera to skip a number by accident.
I feel so bad for the parents and the family.
Did someone connect the camera to a computer and erase the photo to make it irretrievable? Investigators believe that someone deliberately deleted it for some reason, and with the help of a computer, and since it is between the normal daytime photos...
Maybe someone found the camera and accidentally took a photo of themselves, and they didn't want to be connected to the disappearance of these girls, so they deleted the photo. Just a theory.
Of April 1st and the mysterious night photos of April 8th, it could be a very important shot. Of all the holiday photos the two ladies made on their holiday, investigators did not find any deleted photos. In addition, the memory card had plenty of space left. The emergency services calls started around this time.
Why would you delete photo if you have space on your memory
maybe?
card still?
But probably not. The travel channels Lost in the Wild on the disappearance of Chris and Lizanne, and JJ and Kinga, the presenters, showed in a simple manner that if Chris and Lizanne had removed photo 509 manually any time before the first nighttime photo was made, we would have never even known that it had been deleted, because the next photo, aka the first nighttime photo, would have automatically received photo number 509. The strangest pictures on the camera, and perhaps of most interest,
what the heck
were
is that?
90 flash photos taken on April 8th between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. after both women were already pronounced missing. Many of these photos being dark and nothing apparently visible. Some taken a few seconds apart and others up to 15 minutes later. Most notably are photos showing deep jungle wilderness in rain, a twig with what looks like plastic bags tied to them with wrappers on a rock.
What? That is just
Another
weird.
perhaps is a paper with some writings on it that has been torn into pieces on a rock with a mirror or reflective object. The most alarming sight, however, was the back of Chris's head with blood spilling from her temple. After the discovery of the backpack, new searches began along the Culebra Serpent River. 2 Nagobi women from a search party found Chris's jean shorts on top of a rock on the opposite bank of the tributary, a few kilometers away from where Lizanne's backpack was found. The shorts were zipped and neatly folded. The discovery of the shorts prompted a new search along the Calibre
weird.
River. 2 months later, close to the location of the backpack, a hiking boot with a foot, femur, and tibia still inside was found along with part of a pelvis and rib bone behind a tree. DNA testing confirmed the bones belonged to Chris Kremers and Lizanne Froon. The boot and partial leg foot belonged to Lizanne. The pelvis and rib belonged to Chris. Lizanne's remains still had some flesh and...
Were they like attacked by an animal, or was this done by a human? I don't know. But that is, that's weird.
Skin attached to the bones. However, Chris's remains were bleached, possibly due to sunlight or by phosphorus, a substance absent from the local non-volcanic soil. Their cause of death was never determined. Panamanian authorities concluded that Chris and Lizanne both fell off a monkey bridge and were washed away. But in a documentary called Lost in the Wild,
were they murdered?
JJ and Kinga tried to hike the trail that Chris and Lizanne took. They went there at the same time the girls started their hike, at 11 a.m. At the beginning of the hike, they discovered that there are some houses along the trail, and they are not that alone. They also pointed out that it's a one-way trail. There is no way to get lost.
If I was ever on a trail like this, especially in another country, I would definitely have a pistol or some sort of weapon on me. You don't know who's out in these jungles or forest. You have to have some sort of something on you to defend yourself, you know?
At 1:05 p.m., they arrived at the end of the Pianista Trail, the same time as Chris and Lizanne's arrival at the summit. Kinga and JJ also decided to continue to the trail where the girls supposedly went. Normally, tourists don't go there as there is a clear sign not to continue further. At 4:39 p.m., Kinga and JJ arrived in an area still hours away from the Monkey Bridge. 4:39 p.m. was the time Chris and Lizanne made their distress call for help. It seemed that they didn't even go that far. Additionally, Chris's parents also went to the trail to get an idea of what really happened to their daughter and her friend. They discovered that there's actually a second creek 20 minutes after the first one where Chris was last pictured. They wondered why Chris and Lizanne did not take more pictures, as the spot is beautiful. They found it so strange and decided to hike until the end of the trail, where they arrived in a beautiful field. Chris's parents don't believe they even went this far, and if they did, they would have taken more pictures. If Chris and Lizanne would have decided to come back to the Pianista Trail, they could easily have done so. According to Chris's mother, you really have to try hard to get lost here. They also stated that they didn't see a single...
So I keep hearing this. It's a very straightforward trail. There's a lot of markers and signs along the trail so you don't get lost. In my feeling, in my gut, somebody did something to these two ladies. And I don't think we'll ever know. Could have been someone who lived in the jungle or the forest there. And we'll just never know.
Cliff,
sadly,
or anything else one could fall or slip into. It's really a mystery. Chris's parents think that between this field and the small creek where the last photo of Chris was taken,
they were kidnapped.
Something happened. Chris's mother doesn't believe that Chris would have left the path, saying, "She's not that stupid. If they somehow had an accident and got injured, they would definitely have stayed on the trail, and surely somebody would have seen and rescued them." To this day, the disappearance and deaths of Chris Kremers and Lizanne Froon remain a harrowing mystery.
I don't think we'll ever know. Sadly.
These screenshot photos from a surveillance camera footage show 6-year-old Timothy James Pitzen together with his mother, Amy Fry Pitzen. It looks to all like a happy and normal scene.
Yeah, like at a hotel or something?
A lively young boy jumps up and down and around as his mother waits to check out of a water park resort where they had just spent the night. But the silent video has a deeply eerie feel.
Oh, no.
For these are the last images of Timothy before he vanished, and they were shot just hours before his mother booked into a motel in Illinois and killed herself.
Oh, I live in Illinois.
On
Great.
May 11th, 2011, Timothy's father, James Pitzen, dropped him off at Greenman Elementary School in Aurora, Illinois for kindergarten.
Dang, I know where Aurora is. I have a great-grandma who lives in Aurora. Oh, that's creepy. Makes it even more creepy, these stories, when they're places that I've been before.
About 30 minutes later, his mother showed up at the school. She told staff there was a family emergency, and she signed out her son. Security footage shows them leaving the school around 8:30 a.m. At home, James Pitzen had gone to pick Timothy up at school, only to find that his son
that's his father, I
was already
assume?
gone.
Yeah.
His wife never answered her cell phone, and he reported the two missing. While Amy never answered James' calls, she did check in with her mother. She told her mom they were fine and they'd be home in a day or two. She said she just needed some space. She also called James's brother. She told him as well that everything was fine, but Timothy belongs to me. While friends...
Don't tell me the mother did something to frickin' Timothy. Her son. Oh, I got a bad feeling about this. Ugh. The mom's probably freaking crazy or something.
Family were frantically searching for Amy and Timothy. The mother and son were on a vacation of sorts. They went to a zoo near Chicago, a water park in Gurnee, Illinois, and then a resort in Wisconsin.
I've been to all those
Surveillance footage
places.
showed them walking
Wow.
hand in hand. Amy also apparently bought Timothy toys on the trip, including a blue Hot Wheels starter set and pretend gold coins decorated with animals. Timothy was last seen on security camera footage at about 10 a.m. on May 13th, 2011, when he and his mom checked out of the Kalahari Resort in Wisconsin.
What did she do
Shortly
to Timothy?
before 8 p.m. that night, Amy was spotted on surveillance video at a Family Dollar store in Winnebago, Illinois, buying stationery. She was alone. She checked into
Where's
a hotel
Timothy?
at the Rockford Inn around 11:15 p.m. that night. Just after noon the next day, hotel employees found her dead in the room, having overdosed on antihistamines and cut her own wrists and neck.
What
She
the
was 42. At some point, Amy had written 2 letters.
She killed
one
her
to
son, I
mother
bet.
And one to a friend.
Oh, no.
And an unmarked note saying that Timothy was fine and being cared for. "You will never find him," one message said. Police quickly began a huge search for Timothy.
You'll
spanning
never
3
find
states.
him? What's that mean?
After they note, they were looking at the possibility she had passed him to other people, or perhaps even killed him and hidden the body. Only her own blood was on the knife used to take her own life. But in August, 3 months after he went missing, police revealed there was a concerning amount of Timothy's blood on the back seat of Amy's SUV.
Oh, no.
However, investigators later concluded it was
No.
from an earlier nosebleed, keeping hopes alive that Timothy would one day be found safe. James said that Amy had previously survived a suicide attempt.
I feel terrible for the dad. His wife is now dead, and his son is missing. He doesn't know if his son Timothy is alive or dead.
And had been taking
Oh,
medication
man.
for depression. He said the couple had been arguing before Timothy's disappearance because Amy took a cruise with a friend for her birthday, leaving James behind. James said Amy,
Who
had
goes
been
on a
divorced
cruise
3
without
times
your
before,
husband?
had mentioned splitting up.
But hold up, bro. I'm sorry, but she had been divorced 3 times before. That's a red flag right there, bro. I know it's not the father's fault. I still feel bad. You know, Timothy went missing. Who knows what happened to him? But why would you get with a woman who's been divorced 3 times? Little bit of a red flag there, I would say.
Years after her
Just
death,
saying.
friends and family speculated in a CNN special that Amy's behavior was based in fear that her history of mental illness might prevent her from getting custody of Timothy if she and James divorced. In April of 2019, a boy told police in Newport, Kentucky, that he had just escaped from 2 kidnappers that had been holding him for 7 years, and identified himself as Timothy Pitzen, who would now be 14. The boy described 2 kidnappers as 2 male, whites, bodybuilder-type build.
It kind of looks
One
like
had
him.
black curly hair, a Mountain Dew shirt, and jeans, and has a spiderweb tattoo on his neck. The other was short in stature and had a snake tattoo on his arms. He said he had escaped the men who were driving a car with Wisconsin license plates and ran across a bridge into Kentucky. 24 hours later,
Something's
the
fishy
FBI
here.
announced that DNA tests showed the boy was not Timothy. In fact,
What?
the person claiming to be Timothy is actually 23-year-old Brian Michael Reaney of Medina, Ohio. The whereabouts of Timothy is still...
Why would he claim to be Timothy if he wasn't? Attention? The dad probably heard about that. The dad got some hope. Oh, my son's still alive. And then to find out it's not even Timothy. That is twisted.
a mystery
that is messed
to
up.
this day.
Wow.
Number
I've got
2.
a bad feeling he probably passed away. I don't know, Timothy.
Judson Box has never known exactly how his son Gary died on September 11, 2001. But an unexpected find 8 years later has given him a glimpse into his son's final hours. Gary, then 37, had been working as a firefighter in Brooklyn for roughly 5 years when the terrorists attacked. He did not speak to his father the day of the attack, and his body was never recovered, leaving the circumstances of his death a mystery. He left behind a grieving wife and 2 children. On September 11, 2009, Gary's sister, Christine, was visiting the Tribute Center when an employee asked her if she was looking for someone specifically. She mentioned her brother, Gary, and the employee showed her a picture of a firefighter in the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel that had a caption bearing Gary's name. But it was not Gary. It was a photo of Brian Bilcher, another member of Gary's fire squad who also perished on 9/11.
Just looked like him, maybe?
The discovery compelled Gary's father to dig deeper, clinging to the possibility that there could be a similar picture of his son out there. Box scoured photo archives of the National 9/11 Museum and the memorial's website, which allows users to upload photos from 9/11 directly to the site. After searching one night for more than 5 hours, Box went to sleep, physically and emotionally exhausted.
Does he find a picture of his
The next morning,
son?
His wife, Helen, called him into the living room as he was eating breakfast. She showed him a photo of a firefighter running through the Brooklyn Battery Tunnel toward the towers
wow. That's his
alongside
son.
cars stuck in traffic. This time, it was Gary.
Wow, that's
Eager
so
for more
sad.
answers, Box contacted the National
True
9/11
hero.
Museum and Memorial in an attempt to track down the photographer. Several months later, the museum gave him the email address of Erik Troelsen, a Danish businessman who was stranded in the tunnel on his way to a meeting when he snapped the picture of Gary. Having entered the tunnel before the first plane hit, Troelsen was unaware of the tragedy that was taking place outside.
Wow.
Suddenly, the girl in the car in front of us got out crying, he said. Then we turned on the radio and heard the events as they unfolded. Soon after, fire trucks started racing through the tunnel, but a car with blown-out tires jammed traffic, he said. Some of the bigger trucks got stuck, so the guys started walking briskly past us, Troelsen said. Gary Box was one of the guys.
Oh, man. That's
Number
deep.
1.
That's deep. William Tyrell?
This adorable photograph is of William Tyrell, a 3-year-old boy who's been missing since 2014. The photograph was the last known photo of William that was taken just moments before he went missing. He was wearing his Spider-Man costume, something he enjoyed dressing up as often.
Oh, don't tell me he was kidnapped.
On the 11th of
Oh,
September
poor kid.
2014, William Tyrell, in the company of his foster parents and his older sister, journeyed from Sydney to Kendal on the north coast of New South Wales. The purpose of the visit was to see William Foster's grandmother, whose house sat directly across from the Kendal State Forest. On September 11, 2014, at about 10 to 10:30 a.m., William and his sister were playing hide.
Say September 11th? Yo, what's up with the date September 11th? Did I hear that right?
and seek in the frost from the Kendal State Forest. On September 11, 2014, at about 10 to 10:30
Bad day,
a.m.,
apparently.
William and his sister were playing hide and seek in the front and backyard, while his foster mother and foster grandmother were sitting outside supervising them. His mother left them briefly to make herself a drink inside, but began to worry after William hadn't made any noise for several minutes. she began searching the yard and the house.
Oh no.
At close to 11 a.m.
He was kidnapped.
Same day,
He was kidnapped.
His foster mother called 000 Emergency Services to report him missing, and the police arrived at 11:06. Thus began the lengthy and unfruitful search for William Tyrell. According to his foster mother,
stories like this right here are even harder for me now that I'm, a father. I have 2 boys of my own. They're 5 and 6, and I couldn't imagine, my kids playing outside, and you go out to check on them and they're gone, and you don't know what happened to them. You never find them. That's just terrifying, especially as a parent, losing your kid. Oh my gosh, that's like the worst thing that could ever happen to a parent,
Her last
Seriously.
memory was that William was imitating a tiger's roar while running towards the side of the home, and then there was silence, and he had disappeared. Initially, hundreds of emergency service members and members of the public were involved in the search for William. In addition, the police deployed specialist resources to the area like Strike Force Roseanne, a group of specially trained investigators with experience working cases of unexplained disappearances of young children using K-9 detention dogs. Despite all this, within the first 5 days, police could not produce any leads.
Wow.
Investigations were then shifted to focus on suspicious cars seen parked on the road leading to the residence where William had disappeared. The cars, which were also noticed by William's mother, were unknown to the closely knit community and had not been seen since the young boy disappeared.
He was freaking kidnapped, I tell you.
Struggling to find any logic as to why these
Terrible.
2 cars would be parked on the street before William vanished, police began to view these vehicles as suspicious. At around the same time that the children were riding bicycles, a green or gray sedan drove by the Tyrell home, did a U-turn, and exited the street. At about the time William disappeared, another vehicle was seen driving along the street, and later that same day, the same vehicle was seen speeding down another street nearby.
What?
After clearing the Tyrell family of any involvement in William's disappearance, the police began to believe that he was most likely abducted by an opportunistic pedophile or one linked to a pedophile ring. This wasn't too far-fetched, as at the time of his disappearance, there were approximately 20 registered sex offenders residing in the surrounding area, but no arrests have been made, and all deny any involvement. Over 600 people have been interviewed as persons of interest so far, raising the likelihood that detectives may have already interviewed the persons involved. On September 12, 2016, a reward of $1 million was offered for the recovery of William.
$1 million?
This is significant
Oh my
as it represents
God.
the largest ever award offered to find a missing person in New South Wales history. Despite all efforts, police have so far been unable to determine what happened to William. The police are treating the case as though William is still alive, and it will remain this way until definitive evidence to the contrary is discovered.
Wow. I'll tell you this.
On September,
After watching this video, when I'm going to be keeping them, I already watch my kids very well. When they're outside, I always have an eye on them. But after watching this clip, I don't think they're going to be playing outside unless I'm outside with them. It takes 5 seconds for someone to go up and grab your kid, throw him into a vehicle, and drive off. It's just, I couldn't imagine. But guys, this was 5 chilling last photos of people before they went missing. Like I said, linked original video down below if you want to go check out Lutch Green's channel. Again, shout out to Rising Tomato. Thanks for requesting this video. Make sure to leave a like, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a comment down below. If you want to help support the channel, become a channel member. Click the join button down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.